If you're like me, then you've probably outsourced your game recommendations to Reddit on more than one occasion. Maybe you just got a new console and you want to know what the best game for it was, or maybe you just want to know what everyone's playing. When I first got the PS4, I was in the former camp. Being new to the console, I wanted to know what some of the best games for the system were. I went on Reddit expecting to find a variety of different answers. What I wasn't expecting was to find such a unanimous recommendation for one particular game. It's true that popularity doesn't necessarily signify quality, but the number of times majority rules has steered me right is pretty high, so I went with the recommendation. And wow, did the folks at Reddit come through. The game is one of the most original, thought-provoking, and kick-ass I've ever played. From the soundtrack to the dungeon crawling to the writing, it has a level of mastery and style that denotes a masterpiece of the generation. As a writer, the storytelling stood out to me the most, and I want to tell you all about it. So get yourself a drink and get comfortable, and let me whisper sweet nothings to you about the brilliant writing in Atlus's Persona 5.
It's not a game, I'm not a robot, and I challenge you. I'm not a phantom, I'm in your face, and I'm here to see it through. Right before your eyes.
Every once in a while, a story comes out that personifies the power of a genre. Everything about it, from its archetypes, characters, and themes, come together to define a mode of storytelling. For Persona 5, that mode is the fairy tale. It's a natural fit for a studio that makes games about demons and magic, but the story in Persona 5 is about so much more than that. Beyond the clash between humans, heaven, and hell, it's a tale about the everyday darkness people carry in their hearts, and the world of distortion that darkness creates. It's a big game. The playtime's around 50 hours, so naturally the place to start this analysis is right at the beginning. Spoiler alert! This video has moderate spoilers for Persona 5. I'll be talking about the main plot of the game, but I won't spoil any of the major plot twists or late game content like the last chapters or the ending of the game. So the year is 2016, and in modern-day Tokyo, life carries on as usual. Under the surface of ordinary day-to-day existence, there's a different reality, though, one of corruption and distortion. The main character, Joker, comes face-to-face with that darker reality when he's falsely accused of a crime and put on probation. The event proves to be the ultimate catalyst, because Joker's sent to spend the days of his probation out in Tokyo, and that's where he stumbles across a strange, hidden world. Taking a detour with another classmate one day, he comes across an unexplainable oddity. Where his school should be, there's instead a weird castle-like structure. Joker and his classmate Ryuji venture inside and soon encounter a student from their school named Kamoshida. He isn't the nice guy he is at school, though. In this world, he's a tyrant who subjugates his sports team members and his female classmates. Joker and Ryuji venture deeper into the castle, and in the dungeons encounter a strange cat named Morgana. He explains the world they're in is called the Metaverse. It's a place where the subconscious thoughts of humans take material form. The structure they're in is what's known as a palace, a place created from the distorted heart of a human. Captive inside are all the souls that have come under the power and influence of the palace's ruler in the real world. And the only way to destroy the structure is to change the ruler's heart by stealing their treasure, the manifestation of their desires. Before long, Joker, Ryuji, and Morgana are caught by the castle guards, and the shadow version of Kamoshida orders them to be executed. It's at that moment that Joker's persona awakens. All of the injustice he's faced so far and the crisis he finds himself in awakens a deeper, fiercer aspect of himself, which in the metaverse takes the form of a persona, a powerful warrior. With his persona's power, Joker defeats Kamoshida's guards, and together with Morgana and Ryuji, escapes the palace. Back in the normal world, Joker and Ryuji carry on with their daily lives. Increasingly, they hear of Kamoshida's abuses at school, his pushing track teammates to the point of injury, and his predation of female classmates. Meanwhile, at night in his dreams, Joker finds himself imprisoned in a room, presided over by a strange man. His name's Igor, and he explains to Joker that the prison he's in is the manifestation of his own unconscious. He's a prisoner of fate, and he'll remain so unless he finds the courage to challenge the distortion of the world. Joker and Ryuji return to Kamoshida's palace, and along with them goes Anne, a classmate and another victim of Kamoshida's abuses. When she's accidentally dragged in, and when she, Joker, and Ryuji encounter Shadow Kamoshida again, Anne and Ryuji's personas both awaken, and together they defeat Kamoshida and steal his treasure. The palace crumbles, and days later in the normal world, Kamoshida has a change of heart and confesses all his crimes. Joker, Ryuji, Morgana, and Anne form an alliance and call themselves the Phantom Thieves. It's not long before they discover another palace in the metaverse. Investigating it, they encounter a young artist named Yusuke and discover he and many of his colleagues are victims of their teacher, a man named Madarame, who's stealing their work and claiming it as his own. Yusuke accidentally enters the metaverse and there encounters Shadow Madarame. Incensed by his lies, his persona awakens, and together with the Phantom Thieves, he takes down Shadow Madarame, steals his treasure, and causes him to have a change of heart in the normal world. That sequence of events plays out for the majority of the story. The Phantom Thieves will discover a palace in the metaverse, investigate its source, and together with a new team member, take down its ruler and change their heart. Their actions don't go unnoticed, though. Key players in the normal world start suspecting the sudden changes of heart that are occurring. It starts with the principal of Joker's school, and extends to the director of Tokyo Police's Special Investigations Unit.
Reason for turning himself in is a heavy conscience, huh? The human mind doesn't change that easily. Perhaps I'll have someone look into it.
Meanwhile, the Phantom Thieves start gaining more and more public notoriety, with many people seeing them as vigilante folk heroes. Seeing their actions as a mockery of the police and a threat to the power structure, the director of the SIU frames the Phantom Thieves for the deaths of two prominent figures. The public starts to lose faith in them. Meanwhile, a prominent politician named Shido successfully infiltrates the gang and betrays them to the police. Joker is arrested and interrogated, but because of the Phantom Thieves' cleverness, he's able to escape. Teaming back up, they infiltrate Shido's palace, steal his treasure, and cause him to have a change of heart. There isn't exactly a happy ending, though. The new SIU director starts hushing up Shido's change of heart, and working with the government, he launches an aggressive media attack slandering the Phantom Thieves, which is successful. At the same time, the police start gearing up to arrest the Phantom Thieves. The last figure of corruption was taken down, but the power of distortion remains, given life by the shadows in the collective. So the gang hatches a plan to infiltrate the depths of Mementos, a space representing the unconscious shadows of the collective, and steal its treasure, thus changing the hearts of everyone. The Phantom Thieves delve into the depths of Mementos, and there encounter the public's collective shadows. They're all prisoners there, and they prefer the distortion to being free. They're not alone, though. Their imprisonment is focused around a certain being, a mysterious monster they fear and worship. The Phantom Thieves press on, and reaching the depths of Mementos, they finally encounter this horrible monster. And that's the basic plot of Persona 5. I won't spoil the ending, but like I said, the story's a fairy tale for the modern world. It's certainly not the first of its kind, but the way it presents its ideas is truly original. There's something about the pacing in Persona 5, particularly in the beginning, that imparts a sense of wonder and foreboding. Moments like finding the first palace, encountering Shadow Kamoshida, and discovering the correlation between shadows in the metaverse and their real-world counterparts strike your imagination in such a powerful way. They're exactly the kind of play of symbols you encounter in myths that your subconscious just immediately understands. Factored into this use of psychology and metaphors is a roster of characters whose stories are all given personal attention and detail. No character is overlooked in this game, and while their overarching stories serve to convey the main themes of the game, they also have a life of their own. Two particular standouts are Makoto and Sai Najima. They're sisters who lost their parents and have focused their grief and fear into an unshakable need to achieve success in the world. They have every reason to believe in and propagate the status quo, but when the corruption of their superiors is revealed to them, they're forced to choose between their social standing and the truth.
I was just wondering what will be waiting for me at the end. Even if I manage to push through tough entrance exams, I'm still thrust into a competitive society.
What else is there besides success? Don't ask me such childish questions.
Another interesting character is Ryuji. As As you spend time with him, you learn about how his temper and recklessness led to him being kicked off his track team. He has a troubled home life, and not being exactly a star student, doesn't have very many other opportunities to get ahead in life, so the track team was everything to him. When we meet him, he's carefully trying to pick up the pieces of his life, and we understand his hatred of Kamoshida, who also played a huge part in provoking him and causing his team to be disbanded. There's also Takemi, a doctor who sells us HP and magic solutions. She was blacklisted from the medical community when one of her patients went into critical condition after being administered a medicine she was developing. Her superior was the one who administered the medicine, and without her knowing, but Takemi was still fired, and when we meet her, she's dealing with the fallout of having her name and credentials tarnished by false accusations. You meet a ton of characters in the story, maybe arguably too many, but not all of them have extensive story arcs. Some of them are just casual acquaintances. Some of them don't even have lines, like this old guy at the onsen who keeps adding hot water to the bathtub.
Ah, it's freaking hot! How much do you have to add until you're satisfied, Gramps?
You're also incentivized to spend time with them and get to know their stories because it helps you level up your stats. And it's never too much of a drag because they all have well thought out backstories and arcs, usually having to do with injustice in some way. Injustice is a huge theme in the game. Throughout the story, we meet characters dealing with the challenges of an unjust society. In Persona, it's not random, though. There's a dark intelligence that seems to move through this world. It hops in and out of people and situations at different times, and when the Phantom Thieves begin changing people's hearts, almost on cue it begins to take notice.
Do you know them?
You moron! Those are attendance officers!
Hello there. May I speak with you for a moment?
Ah, yes! How can we help you? That monotonous acting of hers never fails to send a chill down my spine.
What are you all doing here? Are you friends?
Is that so? And how would you do that in a place like this?
As one of the game's primary mysteries, this intangible force comes across as genuinely scary, because you don't know exactly what it is or how to stop it, and it seems to be everywhere. It's in the distorted hearts of palace rulers, and corrupt politicians, reporters, and principals, and in the end it's revealed to be inside the hearts of ordinary, everyday people, given power through their reluctance to change or summon the courage to face their fears.
The prison of regression is representative of the collective desires of humanity. They wish to be chained down, surrender their cognition, and neglect the world around them.
The mythical structure of the story is something you understand almost immediately. It's not like some other stories you read where you can't really understand the logic underpinning the magic system or something. The writing presents ideas in a clear way. The metaverse is the world that exists under the surface of human thought. It's made manifest by the distorted wills of humans, and as such has attracted the presence of demons. It's not just filled with negative manifestations, though. The courage and resolve of humans also manifest there as powerful personas, and the will of the divine manifests as Igor and his guidance in the Velvet Room. The entire structure is clear, and a really clever use of the fairy tale genre. As far as negatives, it's hard to come up with very many. The writing's very polished, so there aren't a lot of bad things I can point to. One thing that comes across as less well-written might be the scenes involving the SIU director. They're your stereotypical cut-to-the-scheming bad guy moments, and they're all a bit cliche and on the nose, with the antagonist monologuing about how meddlesome the kids are and his plans to stop them. Thinking about stories in games, it's hard to name a title that conveys ideas about injustice and corruption as masterfully as Persona 5. It's an incredible story, and without a doubt, a game of the generation. Like all great writing, it places emphasis on its characters, but Persona 5 does it with a level of style, maturity, and originality that's unmatched. He uses myth and metaphor to tell a fable about the darkness at the heart of humanity, and the powers that can triumph over it. It's more than a modern fairy tale. Persona 5 is a modern classic, and its story steals your heart. And that's my story analysis for Persona 5. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe for more.